Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Masters of the Universe Masterverse, Masters of the Universe New Etheria, Evil Horde, Dragstor. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And here on the very top, we've got Mattel 6 and Up, a place for a peg hook, 30 points of articulation in outer space, and then Masterverse explodes with all these 1980s rocks. Then on the front, we've got a nice small window showcasing some of the figure and accessories. And then we have some nice artwork. It says Dragstor over here, Masters of the Universe New Etheria. And then back here we've got, I think this is our first look at the new Eternia Castle Grayskull. And then we've got Dragstor in his dragster mode. In the back we've got He-Man, so maybe we're getting a new, more kind of classic-y looking new Eternia He-Man. Our first look at Extendar and Grizzlor. So maybe they've got a new Etheria or new Eternia version of Grizzlor coming. Can't wait to see it. So, and then behind Dragstor, of course, a lot of smoke. And then on this side, we've got Dragstor, and then full body of Dragstor. And he's on a table where, you know, Hordak or somebody's working on him. The Evil Horde. And did I look at the bottom yet? Nope. So, small print, fine print, legalese print, made in Vietnam print, shopmattel.com print, contents, one figure and accessories, a question mark, symbols I'm not going to learn, assortment numbers, and a barcode. And then finally, we're moving to the back. We've got some more nice artwork here in the background of the Fright Zone. Well, at least a version of the Fright Zone. I'm guessing that's what it is. Looks like the Fright Zone to me. The Evil Horde, it says up here. And then a nice practical photography shot of the figure. And then these 3 pictures detail some of the features of the figure. And I don't know if they're practical photography or renders. Could be either. So there's some nice artwork of Dragstor. Dragstor, Evil Warrior Vehicle. Breaking free from Hordak's mind control, Dragstor uses his vehicle transformation powers to be the first to find the power of Grayskull for his new master, Despara. What? Also available, each sold separately, subject to availability. Colors and decorations may vary. And here's the cross sale of this wave Dragstor, this figure Keldor, and Despara. Mattel, empowering generations through play. So there you have it, my friends, a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And here we have handy dandy tweezers. Helps take a look at some of the smaller bits and bobs. And here's his hand. I have to say, this is looking like a new mold to me. I don't remember having seen it before. It is on an in and out hinge, and it does have lots of nice little molded details in there. So pretty cool Dragstor. And then next up, he has one of the wheels that his hands turn into wheels, I'm guessing. So the wheel spins freely. It's got some nice little spokes in there. It's got some nice little details on the tire for grips, and then, you know, it looks like a tire. And there's no hinges on this, but that's okay. It spins really well. Now let's take a look at his other accessory, which I forgot to pull off of the figure. So let's get him back up there. And we'll take a look at his last accessory, which can be held as a weapon because there's a handle on it right here. Or it pegs into his back, as you just saw. I removed it to act as like a turbo booster engine. And that's the real look that it has to it. It's got, you know, two jet exhausts there, I suppose, and then two fume exhausts here, and then lots of pipes leading out to that, and a real kind of engine-y look in here. And then on this end, it's got a bit of a gun look to it because it does double as a weapon. And I have to say, overall, it does have kind of a cool weapony engine look to it. So that's, I won't say it's unique to Masters of the Universe, but you know, it's a pretty cool looking piece. Now let's take a look at the figure himself. And you can see right there, according to his helmet, he is Evil Horde with that nice red paint app. And it does have nice molded details all throughout the helmet. And then his tusks pieces here, and you can see like he's got some reptile eyes, and I think they did a good job on the paint apps there. And then, you know, he's wearing this mask to, I guess, protect him from all the exhaust fumes, and he's got these silver paint apps for all these hoses that power his wheel that does roll. No zip line or pull zip thingy, you know what I mean, like the old figure. And then, you know, we've got some, and then silver going on down here and up here as well. And, you know, all kinds of molded details in his arms. And then Evil Horde kind of belt going on there. Some nice molded details there in the crotch plate. And then here on the legs, that nice silver paint app. And those, I want to say these pieces are separate and they're glued on because the strap looks separate, but it doesn't have much give to it. And then of course he's got some Evil Horde boots on there, but instead of red, they're nice silver. And he's got some words and stuff on his back legs. So, you know, overall I have to say this character looks pretty cool. I always liked the little gimmick with him where you pulled the ripcord and zoom, he went zooming off. Of course, that one didn't have wheels you could change his hands out for. He just had this one wheel in his chest that he kind of balanced on, and it balanced the work. The balance worked because of, you know, the speed of it, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say, I think. Let's take a look at his articulation real quick. So he's got that regular dumbbell joint up in there, but a much deeper cut, it looks like, for it. So he can look up that high, he can look down that low. He's got plenty of chicken neck, he's got a little waggle, he can do the full exorcist. At the shoulder, 360 degrees of rotation, and it looks like he can raise his arm up a little less than 90 degrees, but not by much. Cut at the upper bicep, 360 degrees of rotation there. And then double hinged pinless elbow. And let's see if I can get, yeah, there we go. So that's all the bend I can get out of it, or all the range I can get out of it. And then at the wrist, this rotates 360 degrees. And the hand rotates 360 degrees, and it's on an in and out hinge just like the other one, which can swap out for this tire. Now the wheel, it does spin, and it spins pretty freely, so that's pretty cool. At the waist, there's a straight cut, 360 degrees of rotation there. At the hips, there is a pull down hinge, and when it is engaged, he gives you that much of the split, so not the full splits. And then with it still engaged, he can kick forward that far, which isn't great, and then back about a half of one of his own feet lengths. Cut at the upper thigh, 360 degrees of rotation there. Double hinged pinless knee, and it gives you that much range cut at the upper shin, or a boot cut, 360 degrees of rotation there. And then at the ankles, tilts down that far, tilts up slightly, and then it does have a pin for rocker. Now, as far as putting him in his quote-unquote vehicle mode, take him off screen for just a second. Pop that other hand out. Oops. All that mess y'all got to look at. And then we'll pop the other tire hand in. And this is the first time that I'm doing this, so please be patient with me, my friends. So I'm guessing kind of put his arms out like that. Not that that works great, because those wheels aren't even touching the ground. So that's just weird. It doesn't seem like it works very well practically. I mean, the idea of it is pretty cool, but I don't know, unless I'm doing it wrong. I would think that, you know, yeah, it just, even if we put the feet back like they should go, it just, yeah, looks like he should have some more wheels somewhere just for that. So I would say it doesn't really practically work very well, but it is nice for displaying it, I suppose. It is nice for the look of it that he does have those tires. I think that's kind of a cool look for the character. Well, there you have it, my friends. That's a look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Masters of the Universe Masterverse, Masters of the Universe New Etheria Dragstor, with the Masters of the Universe Masterverse, Masters of the Universe New Etheria Hordak, and the Masters of the Universe Masterverse, Masters of the Universe New Eternia Mosquitor. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the Masters of the Universe Masterverse, Masters of the Universe New Etheria Dragstor, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final ramblings on the Masters of the Universe Masterverse, Masters of the Universe New Etheria Dragstor, I have to say this figure does, you know, kind of take me back to my childhood. Now, one thing I will say, I wish the little gimmicky part of it worked a little better. You know, the wheels all turn, they just don't work well together. And that's a little disappointing, at least to me. So, with an update to this figure, you know, they added the wheels to the hands. Maybe they could have added some to the feet as well. Or at least put some in the legs. I don't know. I always kind of felt like the figure kind of missed some wheels toward the rear of it to help it balance. But, you know, this one, it works to a certain degree. But like the wheels in the front and the wheel in the chest, you know, they don't really work together the way that they are designed. And so, you know, that again, that's a bit of a disappointment. The overall look of this figure is fantastic, though. I really like the look of it, and it does take me back to that original figure. The eyes on this guy are just, they stand out. in my opinion. Your mileage, of course, may vary. I do like the update that his little engine piece on his back also doubles as a weapon. I think that's really interesting and a really good update for this figure. And again, overall, I think it looks great. The eyes they just really stand out to me. And I do like the addition of the wheel hands. It makes sense for the character, but then to have those and no wheels in the legs, just it would work better that way if the hands, and especially if the wheel hands worked well with the chest wheel, that would work better. So I do kind of miss the gimmick on this one. They kind of put it in here, but kind of not as well. So there is that. But I do think this is a nice looking inclusion to the new Etheria, new Eternia, Evil Horde characters, or the Evil Horde that they're building out between the two lines. And so I was really, impressed with it. I wasn't the biggest Dragstor fan back in the day. I was getting close to aging out, I guess, and it worked well, but it's just like, okay, they're just throwing gimmicks at us now. But looking back on it, I was like, well, I kind of miss that gimmick now. But at least I have something that reminds me of that now, I suppose. I guess that's what I'm getting at. I'm not really sure. But regardless, I like this guy. And I like the updates to him, even if the gimmick isn't there. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.